Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Joyful Sundays. I have a new guest, which is Katharina Hoffmann. I, of course, met her through running, but we have a very, very special history actually to tell from each other. She is my former boss from Adidas Runners, and we conquered the world in different kind of races and projects, I would tell. And today we want to tell a little bit more about her routines, about why she's actually running so much and when actually she started to run as well, and maybe also how it affects her health, her mental health, her joy. So actually, Kati, today is Sunday. Where do you come from?
I come from a 2-day trip. My daughter she spent a week in Holland, summer holiday. So she was gone for a week. We went to pick her up and made a stop because it was a long trip by car, and we made a stop to stay overnight at my husband's sister's, and then made our way back home. So now she's back. Yes,
safely. And when we talk about Sundays, what do you usually do on Sundays?
Well, I would say my routine has changed. Now, usually Sunday is a classic long run day, especially if you're training for a certain race, a marathon. For the past 5 years, I ran 4 marathons a year, 2 in the spring and the fall. So now everything has been cancelled, and I have to say my running routine changed a lot. So no long runs at the moment, just runs that are fun. I take my dog for a run, but not necessarily on a Sunday. So Sundays used to be so packed with so many things. If you have a family, kids have stuff to do, you have stuff to do, then a lot of weekend trips to other cities for marathon running. And now I just enjoy being outside. Take a rest day, I guess. Sundays are for families and doing nothing. So
it's nice.
We always joke at home now. So what's your plan for Sunday? No plans. So
Normally we woke up at 7 a.m. and started the long run to meet the community at 8:30, and at 9 o'clock we started the long run, and then the half of the day is actually gone, because until you drive home, take a shower and eat, then it's
you need to eat a lot and rest afterwards. After 30k you don't want to do
anything.
But I also my kids had like soccer tournaments and other I always had some other things. So now see, it's the good thing about these weird times.
I know that you have a very special story to tell, because normally when we see you, you're a very athletic, young-looking woman. You look like you would have done every day of your life a lot of sport, but actually you once kind of restarted running. And then you actually ran a 100-kilometer race. Amazing. So how do you, what kind of shift did you had in your life that you started this new chapter?
That is a long story. I'm trying to tell it very short. I grew up, I did a lot of sports, then also ran a lot until I was, let's say, 17, ran a lot of track and cross country, and then I stopped because sports and friends were 2 different things, and I just couldn't connect the 2. So a lot of years of Berlin party life, and 2 kids later I was 31, and I found running again. So through a running crew here in Berlin that was founded by Nike. The name is Graviteam, and I've always loved running, but I never had a connection to other runners. So that was a group that met regularly on Wednesdays for I think 8k run, and it was the coolest people I just wanted to hang out with. it wasn't about the running or sports. It was just doing sports and being surrounded by cool people. We ran at night instead of morning. So that was when I found my love for running back, or rediscovered my love of running. And in that year, I ran my first 10K, my first half marathon, my first marathon.
You did like,
and I just,
bum, bum.
It was kind of sucked me in, because running is such a strong tool for empower. I know that sounds, but for me, it's always about, about proving myself wrong about what I cannot do. At first, 10 kilometers seem very long, and then you train, and then you just run 10, and then somebody says, let's run 20, and you're like, what? That's so much. And then you train for it, and then you run 20K, and then at some point somebody said, want to run 100K, and I was very, very, very scared, but I had a great group of women that I could follow, and and then we ran 100K, and I think at that point it somehow came clear to me that there is no number that is in kilometers that's unachievable, and it was a very powerful moment, because that doesn't only apply for kilometers in running, but for other things in life, when it makes you strong and brave and and want to like test your limits, I guess. So
what the 100-kilometer race did for your mental health? Did you really was so in a flow afterwards for the next week, and you were so unstressed, and you were so relieved and clear about what's coming next?
No, first I felt like a car drove over me. It was the worst pain, seriously. Like giving birth to a child is comparable, I would say. I ran for 12 and a half hours. I mean, I took breaks, but I never sat down, because I knew if I would sit down, I'm never getting up. And at night I felt just I cried a lot, and I felt very relieved, but everything hurt. I was in an environment where I was in a bed and breakfast with another person that I didn't know. It was kind of like this weird situation. I couldn't get back into my hotel. I had to sleep somewhere else, and I was in so much pain. I was looking, I have to admit, I was looking through, like I went into the bathroom and looked through other people's stuff for painkillers, because I was in so much pain. My feet hurt every time they touched the blanket, but I can totally tell everyone to do it, because
even though it's pain.
No, and it has changed my mind on, and that's the the long term change. It has really changed my mind on what I can or cannot do, because if it would have been 110, I could have probably done it. So when about 120 or you just know. Pretty much you feel like I can achieve anything I want, just
it's a very powerful
mental
state. I think this is a very important mental state.
That's what running does to me. So it was never about times. I never wanted to run a certain finish time, but it was always about testing limits. So can I run a marathon with no training? I don't know.
Yes, but it hurts afterwards more if you have not trained.
But it's you discover what your mind can do, and of course you need your body to be trained, but it's less than you think.
If we're coming to the current state, what are you working on at the moment? Because I think you have a lot to tell. What is your current project?
I have due to Corona times, everything has changed. Also, I have a new project, or I've had it in my head, but now in the beginning of February I lost all my freelance jobs, so I had lots of time and could concentrate on the Good Run. That's a project I've wanted to do for a long time, because I have a fashion background. I have a background in fashion, but I really didn't like the industry very much, and that's how I found my way into the running industry. And I've always missed or I can see that more and more people want to make better decisions in their life. You know, we don't take the coffee to go cups anymore. You know, now it's different than it used to be. We all carry around our water bottles. We don't. You know, we buy less stuff that's wrapped in plastic. So in all these little steps, people try to make better choices. But when it comes to running gear, it's tough because there's there are a lot of brands, but nobody knows, you know, what's good, what's better, what does it actually mean. A few people might know some certificates that brands have, but usually people don't. They want the easy way, you know, a more convenient way. So we're building the Good Run, an online shop or an online platform for sustainable running gear. That means we're not a brand. We're not producing our own clothes, but we want to make all these super wonderful brands, big brands and small brands or small startups. We want to make the products available for a bigger audience and make it easy for people to shop for sustainable running gear because, there's no one doing that. I've waited for 5 years. I have had it in my head, but nobody did it. So now I had time. So now I'm going to do it. And we're crowdfunding at the moment. So until August 10th, our crowdfunding is going. You can go check it out.
Check it out. I will put it in the caption, of course. Yes, I will put it in the caption. I mean, I know you, and I also know that you're very active. So you also call yourself an running activist. So what would be your dream vision for the Good Run? If you could dream big, you say, okay, this will be #1 platform online to go to for eco-friendly running gear, or what is if you say what could be the vision of it, or you actually also more and more want to create an impact about minimizing plastic and also have cool fair trade stuff available as well?
I'd say my vision is to make sustainable products a bigger share of the whole running market, because right now it's
very
this
little.
much.
Okay.
Very few products are sustainable. That's just because it's not so easy to find them. You know, most people just go on the usual online shops or websites because there's nobody, you know, putting good stuff together for runners, especially not with a focus on performance. You know, of course there are websites for sustainable fashion but not with a focus on sport or with a focus on running. So I'd say we want to take a small or bigger part of the big brands and also influence the whole industry by showcasing that it can also be a business model to sell sustainable products. And by sustainable, I don't necessarily mean ecologically sustainable. That's definitely one part, but it can also mean, you know, socially or economically sustainable. So
both,
or
all the ways,
or all three in the best case.
You know what, when we are talking about running more and more, I have so many cool stories to tell, but maybe there's one story you can tell more, because we actually, Kati and I, we both were running the Street Child Marathon. It was a fundraising marathon. We've been to Sierra Leone together and fundraised money beforehand, before the marathon. So can you tell a little bit how this trip for you? It's another extra question just came to my mind, but I need to maybe tell a little bit
how it started, or
now how do you feel like afterwards? Like, so there was the running, there was the fundraising, we visited the places.
Yes, I mean,
touching, right?
It was a very
Emotional.
very emotional trip. Also, when I had to pick you up from the hospital.
We don't go there.
No, it was actually the same friend that took me on the 100K race was the one that went to Sierra Leone the year before.
Okay.
And it was her idea. I really liked it when she did it, and I looked at it and I thought, it's a great way of raising money, because Street Child as an organization, they're raising money to build schools in Sierra Leone. They're an organization that is not based here, but they're doing the work from there with working with locals in Sierra Leone and together with teachers. And so, I really like the project, and I always like to connect running to
doing something good.
More.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, it was challenging to run in that heat and humidity. And it was a completely different race than anything else. Nobody cared. I actually came in second woman as, I never, come in as one of the first ones. And nobody cared. There was no time. So that was different, but that's actually what running for me is all about. It's not about times, but it's, about what it does. And that definitely changed me, I guess, and a lot of views, and made me like Africa even more.
I also really loved that trip, and I went the year afterwards again. And I saw the same people doing great jobs and really doing an impact. And I think this really touched me and made me more and more humble and thankful what we have here. But it's nice to share and let people grow. And that really touched my heart. I think this is the biggest feeling of joy for me to share and then, lift up others. It's a really powerful feeling. When we're coming to, your daily life as a freelancer, you can really also change your days, and they can be so different. But do you have a special morning routine, and how does this actually affect your day? Do you do 20K in the morning? Please say no.
No, I don't. I'm afraid my morning routine is a lot less sporty than yours, and I've actually, during this Corona time, we started something that we used to only do on the weekends, but I always have coffee in bed. And drink my coffee in bed, and a lot of times I check my mails on my phone. I'm trying not to, but that is something. Usually we have 2 kids; they need to be in school by 8. So my alarm would go off at 6:30, and now it's 7:30. And then I have a coffee in bed, and I have half an hour of time to relax, and then start in the day very
Do you go running
slow.
Do you go running in the morning, or more to clear your head and to get ready for the day? Or
Sometimes I have a neighbor, she and I have a dog, so the dog needs to go outside anyways. And a lot of times, especially in the winter, because in the summer it's nice to take a walk and maybe listen to music or podcast or something. I also take my coffee outside when I walk my dog. But in the winter, I never feel like walking around because it's cold and it's nasty. And sometimes, then I just throw on my running shoes and go for a run. Sometimes just for 3K. And so the dog is outside. Sometimes I, go to the bakery and bring home breakfast. So in the winter I go running more than in the summer, because in the summer I enjoy the mornings outside.
I also like it. I do a lot of yoga and calm moments more in the morning than in the winter time. If I would do calm moments in the winter morning, I would probably go to bed again, and then I need to be, trigger myself a little bit more. When we are coming to music, I know you like to dance, but is there a special song you would freak out on the dance floor, you would start dancing right away?
That is a tough question. And when you told me you were gonna ask a question, I thought, oh no, I don't have a favorite song, and I have to come up with something cool, because I love to listen to music, but I listen to a lot of punk rock, and especially when running fast. I think that's like the best thing that moves you forward. But there is actually a song that I always love to dance to, and when I ran this 100K race, I saved my battery on my phone, because of course, I wanted to be able to call someone in case I don't feel good. I sent some pics to my family on the way, but when I came, I think it was like 95 kilometers, I thought, okay, now I'm just gonna use up all my battery and listen to music. And the song that I put on was Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
I love this song.
And I will never forget that moment. Yeah. Just knowing, okay, it's only, a distance that I can definitely crawl if I have to. And I didn't. Well, in my head, I started dancing, but it probably was
not really saving the energy.
But that song will forever be connected to that moment, and will always make me dance.
I think it will
sing in the car.
Yeah, when you hear it, it will always trigger this feeling of like achieving the 100K.
Yeah.
Last question. Also, my most favorite question is, what brings you joy? Very deep question. You can answer it very not deep, on the surface, or very deep.
Well, of course. Well, I think also going back, I know we talk about Corona all the time, but it has changed so much on so many levels in my life, because I had such a fast life and I enjoyed it very much. I loved traveling and having, getting up at 6 in the morning and ending my working day at 12 at night, and then have, I had a lot of contacts for work. I was constantly on the road, traveling from one continent to the next, and now there's nothing on my calendar. So, and I don't miss the racing everywhere. I don't miss it. I enjoy having nothing to do.
And time.
And
with your
I would have
family.
never thought that when schools closed down, we stayed at home, 4 of us. We spent time as a family and did a lot of sports together. It wasn't about running a marathon anymore, but about moving your body and having fun. So I kind of found. I know a lot of people say that, but it's such a cliche. But I guess it has a lot of bad sides also for my job situation, especially. But I guess I found my joy for doing nothing again, where I was always having such a full calendar.
Such a full calendar. First of all, thank you for your time. Thank you for the interview. I please tell you who are watching the video that they should support the fundraiser or buy the products when the website actually launched. I think we have a strong connection. I believe in you, and
I have a good mentor now.
Very successful.
Maybe I was your boss before, but now I'm asking you for help, and that's very good.
And I wish you a lot of health for you and your family, and that we are staying in touch and staying friends. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And let's please let's go and run the Street
100K.
Child and the Nepal Marathon with Street Child.
This
is
another
on the
project.
list.
Yes.